issued an ultimatum.
Destroying Hamas is non-negotiable.
A year and a half later, Mr. Graham has cheerfully surrendered not only his own judgment, his relevance and his dignity, but, and this one actually matters, his role as a leading member of one of the elected branches of the U.S. government.
I don't mind what Trump does because I trust Trump, but Trump sent out a tweet today, release the hostages or you will be destroyed. And that's the kind of leadership we need.
Now, I pick on the gentleman from South Carolina only because he's the most ubiquitous and performative of the class of sometimes self-sovereign senators turned servile sycophants who are supposed to be making our laws.
I trust Trump. As long as he's in the room, I'm okay.
He isn't alone. Even as Mr. Trump ventures down a, quote, a diplomatic, unquote, track on so many foreign policy issues, including negotiating with terrorist organizations.
Israel was consulted on this matter.
My question is, when is someone going to say something?
Whoever believes that there is any space for Vladimir Putin in the future of a stable globe better go to Ukraine. They better go to Europe. They better invest the time to understand that this man is a cancer and the greatest threat to democracy in my lifetime.
To be sure, a small number of souls have spoken out. But the rhetorical question stands because the vast majority of Republican senators and some members of the House, if they were sequestered in a locked room and given a truth serum, would sing like a canary on these mad, bad, and dangerous acts of national self-harm.
Tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country.
Whether it's the president's pursuit of a ruinous and incoherent trade policy assault on Canada,
a little disturbance, we're okay with that.
Backed by the manic threat of forced annexation.
I think they have to become the 51st state.
The punishment handed out to Volodymyr Zelensky and Ukraine.
Would you consider lifting the intel pause on Ukraine? What does Ukraine have?
Well, we just about have.
Alongside the expressions of solidarity with Vladimir Putin and Russia.
Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt.
And the apparent determination to emasculate the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
If they don't pay, I'm not going to defend them.
And casually dismiss the security pact with Japan.
They make a fortune with us economically. There's another case. But we have to protect Japan, but under no circumstances do they have to protect us. I actually ask, who makes these deals?
Let me stipulate. Mr. Trump is the duly elected president, equipped with a popular mandate and with considerable leeway to do as he thinks right in the exercise of his executive responsibilities, especially in foreign policy.
Okay.
But there's nothing in the Constitution or the conventions of democratic politics that requires that the members of the co-equal elected branch of government be constrained from offering even the slightest hint of criticism when they see a president nonchalantly pouring gasoline on our national security and international economic relationships and dancing around them with a lighted match.
Usually, people are happy when our president, the president of the most powerful country in the world, is looking to prevent wars and to end wars.
Take Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Somehow, when it's Donald Trump that's doing it, it's somehow a horrible thing.
If reports are correct, he seems to have discovered that his assigned role now is to reduce the office that was once occupied by Thomas Jefferson, William Seward, and Henry Kissinger to that of a kind of glorified FedEx guy, jumping on a plane to deliver the boss's thoughts to designated addressees around the world. Still, at least we're told he now has a say in which of his employees gets fired by Elon Musk.
No clash. I was there. Elon gets along great with Marco.
I have no doubt that Mr. Trump thinks his ultimate foreign policy objectives are the right ones. Bringing jobs back to America is a good goal. He's right that old alliances need to be rebalanced and reworked. But those ends don't justify these means. Tearing up a trade agreement he himself negotiated with Mexico and Canada.
Canada has been ripping us off for years on tariffs for lumber and for dairy products. 250%. Nobody ever talks about that.
Cutting assistance so Ukraine is exposed to a Putin-led Russian slaughter.
I think he's hitting them harder than he's been hitting them. And I think probably anybody in that position would be doing that right now.
Or having his vice president gratuitously insult allies who've bled and died in America's wars.
If you want to actually ensure that Vladimir Putin does not invade Ukraine again, the very best security guarantee is to give Americans economic upside in the future of Ukraine. That is a way better security guarantee than 20,000 troops from some random country that hasn't fought a war in 30 or 40 years.
It's fear for their jobs that stops so many lawmakers speaking up, and they likely rationalize their complaisance by thinking their political future is indispensable to the nation. But there must be some more who harbor a deeper fear of what history will make of them if they don't speak up now about the wanton vandalism being done to the country they were elected to protect.
Somebody asked me Am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president.